when I started analyzing moon images, like old moon, long before Photoshop existed, images that anyone can download and get access to, you start seeing anomalies on there. And I got into this one data file called the Clementine mission, which is a declassified military low lunar orbiting satellite. And right away, when I saw the name Clementine, I knew it never came back, because Clementine is an old song. Oh, my darling Clementine, you were lost and gone forever. Oh, my darling Clementine. So I said, I bet this thing didn't come back. But it had data, downloadable gigs of data, of images it took of the moon on the other side. So I'm downloading this stuff like crazy.
On the other side of the moon?
Yeah.
Okay.
What they call the dark side.
Right.
I always call it the other side because it's not really dark.
Yeah.
People call it the dark side, but it's really not dark. But these images had incredible anomalies, but things that look like broken structures, broken things just appear to be everywhere. China sent a rover to the moon, and they made the mistake of transmitting in real time what the rover was seeing, and the rover got caught in debris. I mean, a lot of debris. And it's still, I think, publicly available. The image is online right now. And what was up there? I think even the whole moon mission was all about a reconnaissance mission to bring back pieces of what they saw may have been the remnants of an ancient civilization, which is why they showed you some part real and some part fake.
Right. What's up with the funky footage that looks like, so you do believe that we actually did go to the moon?
We went to the moon.
But there's a lot of footage that just looks super staged, like wind moving through a flag and all this stuff.
Well, the moon does have a very light atmosphere, believe it or not. It does hold it has water too. There's water on the moon. However, yeah, some parts were staged and some parts were real. The real moon mission wasn't just to put man on the moon and say, we were the first to make it. The race to the moon between us and Soviet Union was about to get to that technology. Who's going to be first to get, because we sent so many satellites around that moon before we ever went there. We even orbited the moon in a capsule before we decided to go, now we're going to land. So that Apollo 11 was a mission after many, 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 many missions. Even the Mercury missions had occurred already. It was about who's going to get their hands on this ancient technology? Who's going to get their hands on this stuff? What can it be used? The first thing they think about, how can we weaponize this stuff? That's the first thing they think about. What can we do to weaponize it? It was a race to get their hands on remnants and pieces of things to bring back to Earth to analyze and maybe even reverse engineer. So to keep everyone out of it, it's, hey, yeah, look at this. Look at this pretty moon. And here goes all these, these dry, dusty areas. Nothing to see here. But at the end of the day, it was a reconnaissance mission that brought back a lot of things over many more moon missions that we did have. And right now, before they left, they put an array of satellites up there, and they operate on laser communications. And almost every day, we transmit from Earth to the moon a packet of data. Why are we sending packets of data to the moon? Like, why would we do that? Who's up there and why would we do that? In the declassified, it actually became through a Freedom of Information Act. Freedom of Information Act request on the black box from Apollo 11 mission, the audio, and the redacted printout of the audio. We have it. Anybody can download it now. In there, Neil Armstrong is looking down as they're orbiting the moon, and he sees what he calls a convex crater. He's talking about a dome structure. And then he says, wow, I bet the people in there never get out. Now, why would he say something like that? This was no joke. They weren't laughing, they weren't chuckling. He was dead serious. And then when you look at the USGS.gov ground penetrating radar imagery from the former Arecibo satellite dish that we had in Puerto Rico, it shows you what's beneath the moon by about 30 meters, and it looks like gigantic beam structures. So what is going on with this moon? There's something going on with this moon. When the Apollo mission got to the dark side of the moon, comms is out of range now, so you lose comms with Earth because the moon's blocking it, right? But somebody hacked into the comms. Another FOIA Act request that we put in to get that information, and you can hear the audio. And the audio, they're going, oh my God, dude, I hear it too. I hear it. There's something that's like music. It's music. What is this? It was something coming off the surface of the moon or somewhere in that vicinity had gotten to their comms. So there's a lot going on up there. And yes, we went to the moon, but yes, we lied about it.
What do you make of the recent upsurge in UAP sightings and what people are saying contacts with extraterrestrial life? What do you think is happening right now at this time? Its significance and the possibility of like future humans also being extraterrestrials.
There's a lot going on. I'm glad you brought this up, because one thing is, do extraterrestrials exist? I say yes. In my opinion, 1000% they exist. Human beings, in my opinion, are the new kids on the block. We just got here. On a geological time scale, we haven't been here for a blink of an eye. There's more advanced beings that have been out here, maybe even millions of years before us. That's number one. I think some of them visit us and some of them watch. They're watching and looking, studying, just like we go out to National Geographic. We go out to the wilderness of the Serengeti plains of Africa, and we look at these animals, and then we stun them, right, with a dart, and then we alien abduct them and we take them out of their hides, and then we put little chips and plants in them, and we take them and we put them back in their place so they can wake up with lost time. And now they're stumbling around, wondering what happened. And then we track them and watch them. I think that's what's happening to human beings. Not in a negative way, just to see like how we're developing and where we're going and how we're going to come from where we are to where we're going to go.
Not too different from what we're doing with animal species that's right below us in terms of development.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. It's the as above, so below. It's okay. It's never going to change. And so I believe that they're real. Now, also so there are real UFOs, but there are UAPs. These UAPs, which is why they changed the name, are things that we have reverse engineered based on, discovered craft that were left behind or crashed. And how would they crash? People say, well, if they're so smart, why'd they crash? Well, space travel is not safe. It's hard. And if you come to a planet and you don't know that they may have a particular type of radar, which is what they were using in 1947, a scalar beam, you don't know that maybe this scalar wave is going to disorient your ship and your navigation system, and it's going to make you crash. I think they figured this out by accident when they went to scan to see what the heck this thing was moving across the sky using this new technology called scalar, which Nikola Tesla had left the plans about. They actually rebuilt this thing. That it brought down the craft. And then when they recovered the craft, they reverse engineered the craft. And so that began the process of learning how to crash these things and reverse engineer some of them. These UAPs are alien reproduction vehicles, things that we've created ourselves based on lost or discovered tech that's not from Earth. And also other technologies have come out of that, like Velcro, fiber optics, microchips, have all come from these downed crafts, by the way. And so the UAP problem is a big one for human beings, and because it's a narrative being controlled by the governments. And why would they want to do that? Well, look at the way that we've been putting war out on this planet to create money, generate money from war. There's not a lot more places, there's not too many more places we can go to have a war with right now. We've had all the wars. I mean, right now, the wars that are going on between really us technologically, we're making a little bit of money off of those wars, but not as much as we have made in the past. The next big move is space. And to do that, you have to get everyone on the same page. We need to divert trillions of dollars into space weapons and space protection, the Space Force. And to get this to happen and take money away from education and take money away from healthcare and all these other incredible things that we really need and the cures for diseases and illnesses, what we're going to do is we're going to take that money and we're going to create weapons, because we are on the board of directors of all these corporations like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin, and we want to get our checks, okay? So we're going to tell you that there's UAPs that are dangerous to us. They're going to come maybe and attack us one day. They might even have one shoot a ship in the ocean, a naval vessel in the ocean, just like we did at the Gulf of Tonkin incident to create the Vietnamese War. It's the same story playing out all over again, and we have to be really aware and careful to understand exactly what the game is being played, what game is being played, and how we can navigate this and understand what's real and what's not real. And I think that the potential for a fake alien invasion is very high, because it would allow them to divert trillions of dollars without question from us into whatever programs that they want, and those will be black budget programs that we still won't know about what they're doing. We're doing something good with it, don't worry. They just released the first AI jet, completely autonomous, and it went into a dogfight. It was 2 weeks ago. They had to put it in a real dogfight to test it out. We're on Skynet. So now Skynet is active. This thing is out there with its own mind and its own weapons. What happens when it just says, I'm going to go on my own mission? So this is where we are right now. We're on a precipice. Like, we're advancing consciously, but at the same time, we haven't regained our power from the small few that are implementing these dark technologies.
So what do you think is the reality of the nefarious elite or 100 families that really control so much behind the scenes that we're not really, we're oblivious to?
I believe it 1,000%. There are about 100 families that run the entire planet, and these people are extremely dark. They believe it's their right to rule over us. They believe that we're nothing but to be beneath them, that their boot is, we deserve to have their boot on our neck. And it's not about money with them. It's all about the power and the control at the end of the day. Money to them means nothing, because they can just print as much money as they possibly want. They can just add fake zeros and ones to an account and utilize it whenever they want. We proved this by sending millions of dollars to Ukraine. We just keep sending money. It's just digital. It's numbers. It's like, it's not even real money. It doesn't exist. And people are going, they're sending more money. No, they just sent more zeros and ones. It's data, So in that case, it's not about the money. It's about control. And I believe that we as the people on this planet, the biggest thing I have to keep saying, the divide and conquer tactics must fall away. We have to begin to see through them. I'm white, you're black, I'm indigenous, you're from Europe, you're European, and all this crap. I'm the Democrat, you're a Republican, I'm Baptist, it keeps going. Everything is divided. There's no synergy, there's no unity. We have to come to the point, man, and be like, no, 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 we're not going to fall for this anymore. We're going to unite and we're going to organize and we're going to take back control of our planet. And I think that's when we're going to see some of these higher beings that have been watching us step in. When they realize that, whoa, we're going from being adolescents to grown-ups, we're getting ready to become full-blown adults in our reality, that maybe there'll be a chance for them. Now they'll step in and give us some assistance. But until then, we're just like useless babies trying to still learn how to find our way. We haven't even taken a few steps yet. And I think that we have to come together. And the first hardest part is breaking through divide and conquer tactics.